Good evening. Welcome to the Education Pupil Services meeting. The district posted this evening's agenda to board docs at least 24 hours prior to the commencement of this meeting. Is there a motion to approve that previously posted agenda?
Second.
Are there any amendments to offer?
There are none.
The agenda has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please signify by saying I oppose. Those abstaining, please signify by saying I abstain. Motion carried. I will now turn over the Education Pupil Services Committee agenda to co-chair, Ms. Brittany Williams.
Thank you. Dr. Kelly and Mr. Marshallek, just Dr. Manfrey, right? Can you please begin with the overview of your agenda items for this evening?
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Tonight we have two informational items on the Education and Pupil Services agenda, followed by a review of 6 policies. The first item will highlight the partnership between the district and the Delaware County Literacy Council. The second item presented by Dr. Brian Yersone will show the results of the Pennsylvania Youth Survey, or PAYS. After those two presentations, Mr. Desnoyers will review the policies which went through a first reading at the August 13th board meeting. As I mentioned, or can I go right into the items?
Yes, please.
I got carried away. As I mentioned, the first presentation will highlight the adult English language literacy program offered in our school district based on our partnership with the Delaware County Literacy Council. Dr. Manfrey and I will present the benefits of our partnership and how this serves our community and how people can enroll, our community members can enroll in our adult literacy classes this fall. At this time, I will turn the presentation over to Dr. Manfrey, who will begin by providing an overview of the agenda.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing us to present this very important partnership between Upper Darby School District and the Delaware County Literacy Council, which provides our adult immigrant families with a very, very valuable service. And so we'll start with reviewing the agenda for the presentation. I'd like to start by at least giving a picture of what the Delaware Literacy Council does and how they help us with our parent involvement program through our Title III federal funds. We'll talk a little bit about the purpose of Title III funding because it does directly relate to parent involvement and how the parent involvement of English learners can really help the students who are in that program succeed academically. Dr. Kelly will be reviewing with you the Upper Darby School District program details, 10-year program statistics, an overview of last year's program, and how our residents can register for these very, very valuable courses. The Delaware County Literacy Council was established in 1976 and has been dedicated to improving the literacy rates and educational outcomes of adults throughout Delaware County. They offer free and confidential literacy services to adults, including one-on-one tutoring in reading, writing, and English as a second language, as well as classes designed to help individuals achieve their educational and employment goals. In fact, some of what the Delaware County Literacy Council does for Upper Darby residents is resume building. Over the years, the Delaware County Literacy Council has evolved to meet the changing needs of the community. Our partnership with them reflects these changes. We began our partnership with the Delco Literacy Council in 2013 by providing them with some classroom space at Upper Darby High School, as well as Title III funds to run a free program for Delaware County residents with preference provided to the parents of Upper Darby School District. The council relies very heavily on volunteers who are trained and provide personalized learning to support learners. Staying on this slide. This evening we want to highlight how enhancing English proficiency can significantly impact the relationship between parents of English learners and their children in our education system. Research consistently shows that parents of English learners deeply value their children's education. However, their experience with schools can differ greatly from those mainstream English-speaking families. When parents improve their English skills, it brings several key benefits. One, improving communication between those parents and their schools. Two, being able to support academics at home. Three, connectedness, feeling a sense of belonging to the school. One of the things that we really strive to do in Upper Darby School District is to celebrate our immigrant families, our English learners, cultures, while enabling them to become proficient in English and belonging to the community, have a sense of belonging to the community. In summary, when parents of English learners improve their English skills, it not only benefits their own understanding and involvement, but also positively impacts their children and their academic performance. Next slide. What about Title III, the federal funds that provide our immigrant and English learners some additional resources in Upper Darby School District? The first goal of Title III is to achieve English proficiency. We are striving to have our students achieve English proficiency in 4 areas: speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Every year in Upper Darby School District and in Upper Darby School Districts and in school districts throughout the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, English learners take what's called the access test, where they are tested on their ability to understand English through listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Academic achievement in core subject areas is a significant goal of Title III funding. We strive in Upper Darby School District and in school districts across the state to provide direct instruction in language acquisition so that our students, our immigrant students, can feel success in their core subject areas as well. Number 3, provide a smooth transition to all classes being delivered in English. So one of our goals is for our students to be reclassified from English learners to English learners who are monitored. And we do that through our access testing and a variety of other benchmarks that are part of the rubric for how students can be reclassified from English learners to being monitored. And then lastly, what we're here for tonight is parent involvement. Title III emphasizes the importance of involving parents and the community in the educational process. This partnership between the Delco Literacy Council and the Upper Darby School District does both of those things. It provides us an opportunity to partner with community leaders like the Delco Literacy Council and provides our parents the opportunity to learn English, which in turn would help them help their children in Upper Darby School District. In essence, Title III funding is dedicated to supporting English language learning and immigrant students in achieving academic success and fostering a collaborative educational environment. Dr. Kelly?
Thank you. This program that we're discussing offers free ESL classes taught by experienced full-time instructors supported by volunteer tutors, exactly what Dr. Manfrey said. There's a range of classes from beginner to advanced levels. The classes are held twice a week for 2 hours per evening. The class is limited to 25 students, and all materials, are also provided. Students are assessed at the beginning and the end of the course to measure progress and to help with future placement. To ensure the commitment from the students, there is a maximum allowance of 3 absences per term. Our program statistics. So over the years, we've seen a growth in the number of parent participants in the program. Starting with just 9 in the 2013-14 school year, you'll see a steady increase up until the point where there was the shutdown for COVID. So there was some missing data in the middle there. But then picking back up in the 22-23 school year with 68 participants, and now 89 in the last school year of 23-24. In the 23-24 school year, there were a range of classes. So in the fall, you'll see that 3 classes were running in our high school. There was a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced class. And then in the summer, there were 2 classes. There was a beginner and an intermediate class that also ran. Additionally, both in-person and remote options are available for adult basic education and adult secondary education courses, which prepares adults that are testing out of the beginner, intermediate, or advanced courses that are offered there. So our registration is now open for the 24-25 school year. Classes and testing begins in September. Again, the classes meet, which is the same as it has in the past. They meet 2 nights a week from 6 to 8 for those 2 hours. And preference is given to the Upper Darby School District parents and families. More information on registration, there is a QR code for people to register. There's also a link that people can use or a phone number, also email for interest or for more information. Flyers have been available throughout our community through our community bulletin board. They've also been provided to our schools, and the flyers have also been translated into multiple languages for families. Are there any questions at this time?
The immigrant. I've been in this country like 20 years. Here is like 60 language countries, people here, living here, and this great idea. Still, we have in a lot of church and really other religious institute and some other place they're teaching too English too. And nowadays, technology, we are teaching them like traditional way, or we have AI or more technology they can do by themselves too. We should implement these things. Hopefully you should, they should go by AI. Nowadays I see like writing, reading, whatever you want, you can get it by phone or technology. So we should adding these things. So not being like traditional way. So this cost effective. And I think like 13 was 9 students, now it's like 90 students for these classes. So hopefully implement more technology so they can do by more in the home. Like this is gonna be like more proper way maybe.
Yeah, I think that's a terrific point. And prior to this meeting, I met with the Delco Literacy Council, and they were reviewing with me the different strategies that they use with their students, and some of it indeed is artificial intelligence and technology. Mm-hmm. I think your point is that we may be able to find ways, creative ways, of reaching not just the folks who sign up with the Delco Literacy Council for language instruction, but to do it through the use of artificial intelligence and try to reach families in different ways besides just showing up in person for courses.
Thank you.
I actually have a question. How many school districts do we pull from for this? How many other families from like the Lansdowne area, Marple, or is it just mainly Upper Darby parents?
So I don't have the statistics, but I will tell you that because it's a partnership between Upper Darby School District and the Delco Literacy Council serves all of Delaware County. But I do know that a majority of the folks who participate in this program are Upper Darby School District parents or Upper Darby School District residents. And that has been the case since our partnership began in 2013, 2014. However, we went into this partnership with the Delco Literacy Council understanding that there could be residents from Marple, Newtown, Lansdowne, William Penn School District, other school districts. But they've come through pretty well since our partnership with servicing mostly Upper Darby School District families.
Right now, the total population is from the Upper Darby community.
I just had one, I don't know, do you guys find childcare being an issue with the hours? Has that come up, like participation-wise?
Again, I'm looking to Mrs. DeMarco, who is telling me, yes, it has been an obstacle for some families. Joanne?
A little while ago, it was actually 3 hours, but they found when they shortened the classes and made them more rigorous, and that it was better for the parents because of childcare issues. So that was in response to childcare issues. So that
But I will say there are ways if that does become a barrier for families. We've oftentimes used our National Honor Society students to provide some services. So if I'm saying this to you as a board, but if that becomes an issue, we can find creative ways to try and help out with that.
Okay. I think that's important because, Philadelphia side, we see a lot. That's a big barrier as far as like a lot of our parents aren't able to participate. So that's good planning. And then one more, I had a question. Do we anticipate enrollment? You said it's like we left off 89. Do we anticipate do we have numbers anticipated for this school year yet? No.
Not at this time, since enrollment is it's still open. It does close in early September. Well, not close, but we look for a number in early September.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead.
So it's Upper Darby parents. Do you find, is it mom and dad? Is it both? Is it two parents? Is it one parent? And does it tend to, does it skew a certain way, I guess, as far as is it just dads? Is it just moms? Is it both? Anything like that?
Honestly, President Fields, I don't have that data, but we could try and get that information for you.
I think getting to your daycare thing, we'll see more. And I appreciate the honor students, the National Honor students doing it, that we're finding a way to make it happen. If we can really kind of address that, we can get both and whole households there and stuff like that. Just what I think would be good.
If I could just again remind the beginning of this is that we're allowing our facilities to be used by the Delaware County Literacy Council, so we can talk to them. But I'm sure that there's grant parameters and funding. We're helping offset some of those costs by using our Title III funding. But this really is coming from the Delaware. When we started this several years ago, they were looking for space in Delaware County. We were one of those places that was willing to jump on it. I think they were having a hard time in some other ways. So we can bring some of these suggestions back. I know that we attended a meeting this past summer. Dr. Council and I met with MILPA just as recently as a week ago, and we're having a meeting in the fall. So there's some other things that are at play. This is just a program that is running with this Literacy Council from Delaware County using our space historically. So programmatically, we also look to them for some of their expertise and their guidance as far as that. The Title III funding helps keep it going, that we get that funding to help this program come in. So we could talk about that with them and what their limitations are, what they would have going on. It's not our program, it's Delaware County Literacy's program. I just want to make sure that we're on board with that.
Right. I was clear on that. It's just, it's mostly our parents, which is great. And I guess for me, I just how do we expand that to more of our parents in this district? Because I know it helps our kids when our parents. And I get that part of that's being run by the county. We're providing the space, and a lot of that work is being done by the county and stuff like that. So I appreciate that. There's only so far we can go as far as answers and that kind of thing. So I appreciate that.
To Don's point, because it is an outside program, we work with them too at Murphy's sometimes. But another barrier is that people are starting to go back to work and they're at work and they can't make the 6 to 8 hours. So I know other courses have opened up at other sites, but that's an issue that we know. We work with them, so we know that's something they're working on.
Thank you. All right. So thank you, Dr. Manfrey and Dr. Kelly. Will we go into the next agenda item at this time?
Absolutely. So the second item on the agenda for this evening is the Pennsylvania Youth Survey, which is an informational item. Dr. Brian Yersone will present the data from the fall of 2023. This survey is administered to students in grades 6, 8, 10, and 12, and the data is then provided back to the school district so we can analyze it. So Dr. Yersone is here at this point to talk to us about the results of this survey.
Good evening, Board President Fields, Vice President Williams, board members, Dr. McGarry, students, parents, and UDSD staff. Christine took a little bit of my thunder with the intro, so we can go right into the next slide. The Pennsylvania Youth Survey, or PAYS, is the presentation, and we will be looking at it, what it is, its purpose, who took part in the survey, why we encourage student involvement, a snapshot of responses, and key highlights from student feedback on select PACE questions. However, our primary focus will be on how our teachers and staff are actively supporting our students. We will also discuss our plan to use this data effectively to enhance the support and services we provide to our students. The PACE survey is administered biannually to students in grades 6, 8, 10, and 12. It's anonymous, voluntary, and confidential. The survey focuses primarily on 4 areas: the school environment, health behaviors, risk factors, and protective factors. You can go to the next one. The objective of this survey is to gather data on youth-related issues, which will be utilized to develop and refine prevention and intervention programs. The data will also assist in evaluating our existing initiatives and identifying areas for improvement. By analyzing the PACE data, we can gain insights into the specific needs of our students. Additionally, incorporating feedback from students will provide a deeper understanding of their perspectives, guiding us in shaping our strategies and enhancing our effectiveness. The survey offers several unique benefits and outcomes. By providing detailed data on risk and protective factors, it allows us to develop customized solutions that address the specific needs of our students. This approach helps to ensure that youth perspectives are central to our decision-making process. As a result, we can enhance our prevention efforts by targeting mental health, substance use, and bullying more effectively. Additionally, the insights gained enable us to refine our programs and strengthen support systems, ultimately improving resource allocation and the overall impact of our initiatives. A total of 262,535 students across the state from 1,048 schools participated in this survey, and we had 2,658 students from our secondary schools take the survey. This slide and the next few slides focus on student responses to select questions. One of the focal areas of the survey was school protective factors. Within that domain, there's a section focused on opportunities for pro-social involvement. 89.6% of our students stated that there are many opportunities for our students to get involved in activities at school outside of the classroom. 74.4% of our students said that there are many chances for students to talk one-on-one with a teacher. Another section under school domain protective factors was rewards for pro-social involvement. 64.3% of our students reported feeling safe at school, while 70.9% of our students reported that their teachers notice when they are doing a good job and let them know about it. Under the heading School Risk Factors is a section titled Commitment to School. Students were asked, how important do you think the things you are learning in school are going to be for your later life? 74.7% of our students responded that they believe they will be at least fairly important. When asked how often did you try to do your best work in school, 76.5% of our students answered often or almost always. Students were asked to answer questions pertaining to community and school climate and safety. A subheading in this category was bullying. 2.4% of our students said that they have been bullied at least several times per month during the past 12 months. 14.7% of our students reported that they have been bullied either now and then or rarely within the last 12 months. The second subheading under this category was internet safety. 12.1% of our students reported that within the past 12 months, someone on the internet tried to get them to talk online about sex, look at sexual pictures, or do something else sexual. The next section of the survey looked into mental health concerns and suicide risk. 72.1% of our students responded in a positive manner to the statement, "My overall mental health in the past month has been good." To the question, did you ever feel so sad or hopeless almost every day for 2 weeks or more in a row that you stopped doing some usual activities? 67.1% of our students said no. 17.5% of our students said that they have seriously considered attempting suicide. The current supports that we have in place for our students are many of them are listed on this slide. They are the Student Assistance Program. Each building in the district has a SAP team that reviews these referrals and schedules assessments with our SAP coordinator. The SAP coordinator then works with the student and their family to see if outside services such as counseling or therapy are necessary for struggles with mental health or drugs and alcohol. Additionally, our SAP teams may run groups with students to support them in relevant areas. Our trauma-informed leadership teams are made up of UDEA members and administrators. They support our students by providing students with strategies to overcome challenges that they have experienced. Additionally, they work with our staff to ensure that our staff members are using trauma-informed and brain-based strategies to help students stay regulated and focused while in our classrooms, hallways, at home, and in the neighborhood. Our positive behavior interventions and supports and multi-tiered system of supports teams provide Tier 1, 2, and 3 assistance for students who need behavioral, social, emotional, and academic support. An example of a Tier 1 support are the social emotional learning lessons that are taught across the district through grades K through 12. Our staff also provide targeted or more intensive support through Tier 2 and Tier 3. A few examples are groups for emotional regulation or grief, staff-to-student mentoring, and morning or afternoon daily check-ins or check-outs. Our counselors, social workers, nurses, and psychologists provide supports for our students through running groups, working one-on-one with students through different challenges that they are experiencing, providing health care, administering assessments and evaluations, meeting with students and parents, being a listening ear or a helping hand when our students are experiencing difficult situations, and so much more. Several of our schools have school-based outpatient programs to support students' mental health needs. We have a robust bullying policy and procedures that focus on teaching, reporting, investigating, notifying the appropriate persons, and administering the necessary interventions. Additionally, since the 22-23 school year, we have added our homeless and foster social worker, 2 elementary counselors, and reallocated resources to add 3 additional counselors at our high school that focus on college and career readiness. At the middle school level, we changed our 6 lead teacher positions to student support specialists. We have hired school counselors to fill these roles to provide additional school counseling support to our students. Now now where are we going from here? The PACE provides us with a great deal of information. It's about 155 questions that our students answer in this survey. We're going to share this information with our teams, provide professional development to our staff on implementing the school protective factors in their daily practice, Tier 2 and Tier 3 social, emotional, and behavioral supports, as well as being able to identify students who may need mental health supports. We'll also work with our families to make sure that we are at capacity, if appropriate, with our school-based outpatient program. We need to prioritize training more staff to work with our student assistance program, continue to evaluate and modify what we are doing at each building to see how we can maximize the supports that are provided by our school counselors and social workers. Finally, last year, our school district worked with a tool provided to us by the Delaware County Intermediate Unit to provide an assessment of the mental and behavioral health supports utilized in the district. This school health assessment performance and evaluation, or SHAPE tool, was a team comprised of administrators, social workers, counselors, psychologists, and teachers. We will continue to meet to evaluate and modify what we are doing across the district to support our students' mental and behavioral health. Have any questions?
Any questions?
How are the students picked, and were parents notified before these surveys?
Yes, so there's a letter that goes out via my office, as well as from the building principals. We send letters letting families know when this is going to take place, the opportunity to opt out of the survey if they wish.
So this is completely anonymous, right?
100% correct.
So how do we, or how, I guess we can't address the 17% of students who said that they thought about committing suicide? Like,
So we
there's
don't
no
know
way
who
to
those
have,
specific students are, but what we can do is to know that there is a need there for these services and train our staff on what are the keys to looking for, to see that a student is experiencing some kind of mental health crisis. So we need to work with our staff members to make sure that they know what the key signs are. So then we can work with our counselors. Our counseling staff use a screening tool if these situations do arise, and then if the screening tool says that more support is needed, then it goes to our social workers to do a risk assessment. And then our social workers will work with the families from that point forward.
is there a way to narrow down what schools like have the highest, because they're all from all over the district, right?
So it's only secondary schools.
Okay.
So it's 6th through 12th grade in the even number years.
Oh, I'm sorry, you did say that.
And
You
it's
did
given
say
during
that.
odd number years.
I'm just thinking, is there a way to pinpoint, like, is it a particular school that has a higher need?
So the data is not broken down by school.
Okay.
But, I mean, we know, and this data, specifically that question, that answer is a little bit down compared to the last two surveys, the PACE survey. Still sad, really, really sad. 17.5% of kids is a lot. But, it's trending in a better direction than what it was.
Thank you.
I am thinking of the report. A few months ago, we had a report on truancy in the district and how we compare. There was nationwide numbers and statewide numbers, and then comparable school district number. How we compare to districts like ours, how we compare to districts in general, and something like that would be. I don't think you have it. I mean, I know we don't have it here, but it would be great for the state to provide something like that. I feel like we need, with some of these numbers, I feel like we need to kind of see how we measure against general population or something like that.
We have, you're talking about the questions, we have county averages. We have county averages. We also, for some of the questions, they give us state averages as well. So that data we do have.
Oh, okay. Would that be helpful to see? Maybe.
Yeah, I think that'd be helpful.
I think not, obviously not right now, but I think I would like to know. I know Dan's hot to get on the mic, but those are just my thoughts right off the bat.
No, I'm not hot to get on the mic. It's already in the report, publicly available. So the report has how we compare to the county for these questions and to the state, and we report that. You could probably go back and see it over the last couple of years. So there's a district, county, and state that's available in the PAYS, and we put this on the website so people can look at that, and the board, we can provide that information as well. And to your question about attendance and truancy, we could do that as well. We can compare it demographically when that comes up.
Well, I mean, no, we've had a presentation where we did that, and I'm just wondering if that would be useful here, right? Just to kind of give everybody an idea where we are in comparison, or maybe it would be awful, maybe it would be horrible to see. I don't know. But just right now, we're just kind of looking at our numbers, and I guess it would be helpful for me to know how does that rate compared to other. I mean, some of these numbers, you want them to be at 0%, sure, but in general, I would think in general there are, your teenage years are filled with a lot of emotion. You're soaked in testosterone, soaked in hormones and stuff like that, and there's a gamut of emotions and feelings and stuff like that people go through, and it'd be helpful to know generally how are kids at these ages feeling compared to Upper Darby. So just something, if we had that, it would be nice. It might be informative with this report.
I think it's good to emphasize too that it's not just the school, the community as well. I mean, the families also they might not be aware of some of the warning signs as well, like if your child is exhibiting some of the risky behaviors. So even thinking about that. So hopefully families will look at this presentation and maybe talk a little bit more with their students at home and kind of go from there. It's a joint effort. Go ahead.
I just wanted to know, I know the teachers and staff are trained to identify key factors to see whether or not those students may be showing some signs. Are the students also aware of all of the support systems that we have in place, and how often do we kind of give that information to them?
So it varies. Something like bullying, we review our bullying policies and procedures with our children every quarter. So, you know, these things are in our social emotional learning lessons, our PBIS lessons, you know, throughout, you know, depending on, they vary depending on what the principals and the building teams believe are a need at the time. So those things would vary.
We also have the Safe to Say program, and we do a recording, and we push that recording out both through our updates, regularly remind our staff, and then we've done a YouTube recording. We just updated that with Anthony Vaughn in my office, and we push that out to families. I'll be pushing that parent link out. We do it in the fall when school's back in session, and again after the holidays. So we remind families that Safe to Say at risk, again anonymously, either reporting someone that you have concerns about, or you can report yourself if you need help as well. 24/7 hotline.
All right. We can go into our policies at this time.
The third item on the agenda this evening are our policies. There are several policies that Mr. Desnoyers will review with us. I believe that many of the recommendations are coming from PSBA on the multiple policies that are listed.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. So there are changes to 7 policies for consideration during this meeting, and I do want to note that at the August 13th board meeting, changes to policy, updates to policies 103 and 104 went through a first reading. They are not being, those changes to policies 103 and 104 are not being considered at this meeting. A different set of changes to policies 103 and 104 are on the agenda for the special voting meeting later this evening. And that this all, you'll hear more at the special voting meeting. This all has to do with Title IX. But the changes for the 7 policies that are on the agenda for this meeting will need to be moved forward by the board at this meeting and approved at a future board meeting in order to take effect. The 7 policies impacted are 146.1, trauma-informed approach, 218, student discipline and restorative practices, 218.1, weapons, 218.2, terroristic threats, 323, tobacco and vaping products, 351, controlled substance abuse, and 815, acceptable use of internet, computers, and network resources. So all policies, the first 6 policies being updated are primarily being updated due to Pennsylvania Act 33 of 2023, which was school safety and security updates. So this was part of the Omnibus School Code Bill, and it changed certain, it changed the school code regarding school safety and security, and so those changes are being carried through into our policies. The last policy on the list, policy 815, acceptable use of internet, computers, and network resources, is being updated to better reflect the fact that artificially generated media that is picture, images, and video depicting persons are subject to the are treated under our policies as if they were images and video of actual people or events. So if a deep fake image or a nudified image falls afoul of the of one of our policies, it will be treated as such. That concludes my update. Thank you.
Thank you. Are we all comfortable moving the policies forward?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we'll go into public comment. Are there any public comments?
Not at this time.
There are no public comments.
Okay. Can we get a review of the agenda, Dr. Kelly?
Absolutely. The first item was informational. It was the Delaware County Literacy Council. Dr. Manfrey and I presented the benefits of the adult English language, or English as a second language, program for the Upper Darby community. The presentation also included information on registering for the 24-25 classes. The second item was also informational. Dr. Brian Yerson presented some of the results of the PAYS survey, or the Pennsylvania Youth Survey, that our students participated in the fall, and those students were in grades 6, 8, 10, and 12. And then the third item were the policies that will require board action.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I'll turn it back over to President Fields.
Thank you, Director Brittany Williams. Very good. A motion is in order for adjournment of the Education and Pupil Services Committee meeting.
So moved.
This meeting is adjourned.